There's a single number you can put on your website today for free that's been shown to meaningfully change whether a stranger trusts you enough to buy. It's not a discount. It's not a guarantee. It's not even about your product at all. It's a number that represents other people. The tactic is called social proof, and once you understand the psychology underneath it, there are at least three specific places in your business where you're probably leaving it unused right now. Today, I want to walk you through where this comes from, then show you exactly where to apply it. On your sales page, in how you collect feedback, and in the smallest, easiest place most businesses forget entirely. In 1951, a psychologist named Solomon Asch ran an experiment that's become one of the foundational studies in social psychology. He sat a group of people in a room and showed them a line on a card, then asked them to match it to one of three other lines of clearly different lengths. The correct answer was obvious. Anyone looking at it alone would get it right almost every time. Except in Asch's experiment, only one person in the room was a real participant. Everyone else was an actor instructed in advance to confidently give the same, obviously wrong answer. About a third of real participants went along with the group's wrong answer, at least some of the time, even though the correct answer was sitting right in front of them. People didn't change their answer because they were stupid or couldn't see the lines clearly. They changed it because a part of the human brain treats what other people believe as genuine evidence about reality, strong enough, in many cases, to override what your own eyes are telling you. Robert Cialdini later gave this phenomenon its name in business context. Social proof. The principle that people look to the behavior of others, especially others they perceive as similar to themselves, to decide what the correct or safe decision is. Here's why this matters directly for your business. Your potential customer is standing exactly where Asch's participants stood. They don't fully know if your product is good. They don't know if you're trustworthy. And in that uncertainty, the easiest, fastest piece of evidence available to them isn't your copywriting. It's whether other people, especially people like them, have already said yes. The first and most obvious place to apply this is your sales page or product listing, and the research on reviews specifically is some of the most consistent data in all of consumer psychology. Across multiple large studies, including research out of Northwestern University's Spiegel Research Center, the pattern holds up again and again. Products and services with visible reviews convert meaningfully better than those without, and the effect tends to grow stronger as review volume increases, up to a point. Interestingly, the research also shows that a perfect 5-star rating isn't actually the optimum. Ratings in the 4.2 to 4.5 range tend to perform best, because a small number of imperfect reviews reads as more authentic than a suspiciously flawless record. Here's what to actually do with that. If you don't have a system for collecting reviews or testimonials right now, that's the single highest leverage thing you can fix this week. Not redesigning your website, not running more ads, just asking every satisfied customer for a review immediately after they've had a good experience, while it's fresh. And if your rating isn't a perfect 5, don't panic about it. A few honest, specific reviews, even mildly mixed ones, are doing more trust-building work than silence ever will. The second place this applies is somewhere most service-based businesses get wrong without realizing it. The type of social proof you're showing, not just whether you're showing any at all. In B2B and service contexts specifically, the research consistently points toward case studies and detailed success stories outperforming generic testimonials. A one-line quote saying, "Great service, would recommend," does very little. A short story with a specific before and after number attached to it does considerably more because it gives the viewer a concrete outcome to imagine for themselves, not just a vague positive feeling. If you're a consultant, freelancer, or service provider, here's the direct action. Instead of collecting quotes, collect outcomes. Ask past clients one specific question. What changed with a number attached after working with you? Even something as simple as reduced their response time by 2 days or increased bookings by 20% turns a forgettable testimonial into actual evidence. The third place is the one almost every small business skips entirely because it feels too minor to matter. And it's the one I'd actually argue is the easiest win available to you this week. It's specificity and recency. Generic social proof, a vague, trusted by thousands banner, a testimonials page that hasn't been updated in years, does measurably less than specific, recent, named social proof. Join 50,000 happy customers with no name or face attached reads as marketing noise. Sarah from Melbourne booked this yesterday. Reads as a real current fact about real human behavior, which is exactly the kind of evidence Asch's participants were responding to in that room in 1951. If you've got a testimonials page that's more than a year or two old, refreshing it with even 2 or 3 recent specific examples is worth more than adding 10 more generic ones. And if you're running any kind of online store or booking system, even a simple recent activity note, who bought, how long ago, gives visitors the same kind of real-time social evidence that a busy restaurant gives just by having a queue out the door. I tested a basic version of this myself, adding a single line under a product description naming the most recent few customers. Nothing elaborate, no special plugin. It didn't transform the business overnight, but it was one of the cheapest, fastest changes I made that had a measurable positive direction on conversion. And it cost me nothing but 10 minutes of setup. So here's what I want you to actually go do with this. Set up a simple system this week to ask every happy customer for a review or testimonial immediately after a good experience, rather than hoping they leave one unprompted. If you work with clients directly, replace generic quotes with specific, numbered outcomes wherever you can, and check whether your social proof, wherever it lives, is specific and recent, not vague and years old. None of this requires new ad spend, a new product, or a redesign. It requires treating the evidence other people have already given you about your business as seriously as you treat your own marketing copy. Because to a stranger deciding whether to trust you, it's worth more. If this gave you something you can actually go set up today, subscribe to The Corporate Mind. Every week I break down a psychological tactic, the real research behind it, and exactly how to apply it in your own business. I'll see you in the next one.